What's going on, everybody? This is the Chicago Sports Talk. Michael back at it with another video talking, of course, the Chicago Bears. Training camp is tomorrow among us. So, what are the top 10 storylines to look forward to going into the Chicago Bears training camp? Now, there are lots of storylines, lots and lots of storylines. So, training camp for the rookies start tomorrow. Veterans come on Friday, and it's not open to the public. It's not open to the public until the until July 26th, I believe, ish. But hopefully, we're gonna get a lot of media being there tomorrow. So let's get to the top 10 storylines. And obviously, it took a very long time to come up with these storylines. But before we begin with these top 10 interesting storylines, I do want to remind everybody, if you are new to the channel and you stumble across this video, please hit the big red subscribe button, hit the bell notifications, and obviously subscribe for more of Bears content. So let's get right into it. So at number 10, I have the competition with returning kicks and punts. Now, with the new kickoff rule being more XFL related, there's going to be a lot of competition that the Bears have with Velus Jones Jr., DeAndre Carter, Roma Doomsday, maybe Tyler Scott fills in returning kicks. So there's going to be competition when it comes to returning kicks, and people that say that special teams don't matter as much. I mean, we may make there's a Hall of Fame exception because I just tend to disagree because Devin Hester was a lot of the reason the Bears won games in 2006, and with the special teams being Tory Taylor also punting, and there's going to be questioning on who's going to be doing the kickoff, and obviously I say it should be Tory over Cairo because Cairo's too small to go tackle somebody. Meanwhile, I think Tory would be a better option when it comes to doing the kickoffs and returning punts. I feel like Velus Jones Jr. has been doing good for the past couple seasons as a perpetual kickoff returner. It's punt returns that he hasn't been very good at. I do think that Rome is going to be returning punts, but I would not be surprised if they do DeAndre Carter returning kicks if they feel like Rome is not ready. And speaking of Rome, that's going to be the number 9. How Rome fits into Shane Waldron's offense. And Shane Waldron, we'll get to it because I have Waldron on my list, obviously. Rome could be probably used as a Tyler Lockett role, as Shane Waldron obviously developed guys like DK Metcalf, who else? Tyler Lockett, and he also developed Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Rome being viewed as a sleeper of being one of the best receivers in this draft class. We'll see how he's going to have a very interesting role into Shane Waldron's offense, be used more as a Tyler Lockett type of person in that offense. All right. Number 8, Austin Booker eventually becoming the starter edge rusher 2 behind Montez Sweat. Now, I know a lot of people have their questions on who should be the starting edge. Do the Bears go out and re-sign Yannick Ngakoue? Do the Bears trade for somebody like I'm trying to think of his name. It's the Cincinnati Bengals edge rusher. I'm losing my train of thought. Or we trade for a Khalil Mack. But the issue is that I think the Bears have a hidden gem on their defensive end that nobody will see coming the starting row. And it's going to be fifth round pick, which the Bears do attend to hit on a lot of their fifth round picks. It's going to be Austin Booker. And Austin Booker has made a huge impact during training, during OTAs. But the question is, will he eventually become the Premierium starter on the Bears? And speaking of Montez Sweat, that's where we'll get into the Montez Sweat effect. Montez Sweat had a unmarkable impact ever since he got traded. The Bears defense has been remarkably well under Montez Sweat. But the question is, does he continue to do that just the same as last year? And Montez Sweat, especially getting paid the big bags, has a lot of question marks to prove. And basically going into his second year in it, not his second career year, but his second career with Matt Eberflus, his second year under Matt Eberflus' system. So the secondary impact, Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, and Kevin Byard. This secondary had the best stretch, led the NFL in turnovers and forced fumbles last year down the stretch. Going into year 3 under Matt Eberflus, and basically looking to have a greater impact than last year. Jalen Johnson has a lot of question marks, especially after getting paid the big bag. Tyreek Stevenson, after a very good second year down the stretch. Kyler Gordon did a remarkable job as a slot corner. Terrell Smith being a good depth spot. And whenever he's needed, he's very good. Very solid. I do hear rumors that the Bears may go out and get Stephon Gilmore, but we'll have to see. I do have a feeling that if one of our guys go down, like if Tyreek Stevenson went down, or even Jalen Johnson, that they would go out and get Stephon Gilmore. But I don't necessarily see them signing Stephon Gilmore. Jaquan Brisker, again, like I said about Kyler Gordon, he had a remarkable impact in his second year going into his third year. And Kevin Byard, the new addition that they added, has a lot of question marks because he didn't look that very good during the second half of the year when Matt Patricia took over play calling duties for the defense. And he'll have a lot of question marks saying that, was it just because of Matt Patricia, or was it because of Kevin Byard? And in the middle, the linebackers, we talk about Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards and Jack Sanborn. Will they continue to be one of the dominant linebackers they are in the NFL? And I want to bring up the Roquan Smith thing, and I know some Ravens fan is watching this, but I do want to bring it to everybody's attention, to all the Bears fans, especially me, because it was a very sad day when Roquan Smith got traded. But I think it was worth it because of the addition of TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds and Jack Sanborn being a part of the trio, and those three linebackers being a dominant duo in the secondary. Also, there might be a sleeper, Elijah Hicks. I know he had a lot playing time when Eddie Jackson went down, but whenever he started, looks like he was decent, but he's going to have a lot of question marks going into to see if he can stay in that zone. And he had a lot playing in time last year when Eddie Jackson went down, so that's the main question. Number 5, Javon Dexter Sr. going into year 2. Javon Dexter was used as a rotational piece last year, but he was mostly used as a starter down the stretch in the second half. So the question is, does he remain dominant being the starting nose tackle for the Chicago Bears? And he I looked at the film last year and he was getting close to hitting the quarterback. It didn't take until the second half to get the sacks, but he may fill in the Akeem Hicks, Eddie Goldman route where Eddie Goldman wasn't very good at getting sacks, but Eddie Goldman was the premier run stopper, which I see Javon Dexter or it could be Andrew Billings, either one of the two, because I can see Javon Dexter being like Akeem Hicks and Andrew Billings being our Eddie Goldman in that in the middle of the defensive line. And let's go to the new offense number 4, the offensive line. And I have there's a lot of question marks on that offensive line. Let's start with Braxton Jones. Braxton Jones, he's been solid for the Bears, but the only problem of Braxton Jones is him handling the bull rush. When the bull rush is presented to him, he doesn't tend to do good. Tevin Jenkins staying healthy. Whenever he's healthy, he's been consistent. But the problem with Jenkins is his availability to stay healthy for at least 17 games. The center position, we talked about it. Do we bring Connor Williams or do we have a competition between Ryan Bates and Colton Shelton? Shelton only allowed 2 sacks last year on the Rams, but he does not look like a superstar center like a Connor Williams is. What do they do at the center? Nate Davis. Does it look like a waste of a signing with him being lazy and him being inconsistent? And Darnell Wright going into his second year, does he continue that good stuff that he did last year? So that's going to be a storyline to look forward to about how this offensive line gels and to see if we can keep the core. I do hear rumors that the Bears are front runners to get David Bakhtiari, but if they do, I feel like that's going to be competition for Braxton Jones to win the starting job over Bakhtiari being the left tackle. I will say this: Braxton Jones needs to earn the starting left tackle. It should not be presented to him day one because there's not competition on the Bears left tackle side. Tevin Jenkins healthy, center position. They need to see what they can do with the center position, and with Nate Davis, it's either put up or shut up time because they should have taken notes after that Chase Claypool situation. And Darnell Wright, does he still continue to be the same? Number 3, how this new offense looks under Shane Waldron. After Luke Getsy got fired, they did get an upgrade over Luke Getsy to Shane Waldron. Shane Waldron, who resurrected Geno Smith's career and potentially a head coaching candidate for not this season, but the next upcoming season. Coming into this year with a new quarterback in Caleb Williams and a whole basically talented weapons, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Doomsday, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, basically, and DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert and Roschon. So we're going to see how Shane Waldron, being a potential head coach candidate for next year, to see how he does under this whole offense going into this first year with Shane Waldron, with a rookie quarterback that is looking to be said by many others, a generational talent. So it's going to be interesting to see how Waldron develops Caleb Williams the first year. And speaking of the head coach, Matt Eberflus's progression. I did a video on Matt Eberflus. Actually, I did 2 videos. One where he was betted to be coach of the year, and the 2 was if he were to be on the hot seat. So Matt Eberflus's production will be under question, will be the top storyline because he is going in with a lot of pressure going into year 3 because if we're going to give the line with quarterbacks now, we have to give it to the head coach because Matt Eberflus has done a remarkable job on the defense, but the problem is credibility on the offense because it doesn't matter if you're a defensive coordinator, it doesn't matter if you're a special teams coordinator, it doesn't matter if you're an offensive coordinator, it doesn't matter if you're a water boy or you're a analyst. What matters is how you coordinate the entire team. And Matt Eberflus, I do believe, is going into this year on the hot seat. And if he does good, and what the betting odds predict that he will do when head coach of the year, he could be this coach for a remarkable long time, or he's going to get fired at the end of the year. Which the Bears' record last year was 7-10. Do the Bears improve on that record, or do they digress, and that leads to Matt Eberflus getting fired? And the number one, Caleb Williams progression. Caleb Williams, the storyline of him being the first overall pick going into the best situation that any number one quarterback has ever gone into, and has a lot of shoes to fill in because Chicago hasn't had a very good quarterback in a very long time. He has a lot of steps to fill in, a lot of shoes to fill, because if Caleb even scores 20 touchdowns, which is over the Bears' rookie touchdown record, which is 11 touchdowns, and if he throws just like 3,000 yards, that would be the most passing yards in Chicago Bears rookie history. And Bears fans will build a statue of him for a long time. But if he breaks a lot of Bears records, which he's projected to break a lot of Bears records his first year, Bears fans will build a statue for a long time. And will Caleb Williams become the franchise quarterback that the Bears have been looking for a very long time, after failure after failure after failure? So honorable mentions, who will be the backup quarterback? Will it be Tyson Bagent? Will the Bears go out and get Ryan Tannehill? Will it be Brent Rypien? I do think it's going to be Tyson Bagent being the quarterback too, even though I don't want Bagent to see the field. I just don't feel like Bagent should be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't feel like he could be a good quarterback on any other team. But like I said, it's a good storyline, a D2 quarterback having a starting job, but unfortunately, fairy tales don't work anymore in the NFL. But basically, those are my top 10, and that was an honorable mention right there. Let me know, what storylines are you mostly looking forward to at the Chicago Bears training camp? Hit the big red subscribe button, hit the like, and hit the bell notifications. As always, this is the Chicago Sports Talk Michael.